slowly graduating, starting how machine learning started, build some understanding so that we can compare and contrast that with deep learning, and then finally bring AI and compare that too. Now, in the first part, we talked about something called as feature selection. So we, as a machine learning expert, a data scientist, are taking our input data and selecting which features are going to be useful for that. We're going to apply certain algorithms, try it, model it, compare them against each other, and finally be confident that this is the model which we are going to use. So a lot of that work happens in the machine learning world. Deep learning, for that matter, takes a very different approach, and a lot of this can be made as a black box. And the feature selection and all of that becomes like a black box, and you don't have access to it and how it is doing, what it is doing, and it just builds it for yourself, it by itself. What it has something called as multiple layers, and more of a concept of the way people call it as neural networks and how brain thinks, the human brain. In that, now a lot of people are moving forwards from that concept or terminology, but the idea is to have an input layer, an output layer, and several different hidden layers, and that's why it's going through a deep layers of understanding and building through, and that's what it's called as deep learning. There are pros and cons in using each of them, and we'll talk all the three combined together when we bring AI into the mix. Quickly I highlight a few points though. It makes life easier. You don't have to do feature selections and things like that. But on the downside, what happens, it definitely needs a lot of data, which is properly labeled and good amount of data in a clean data as much as it can get, and then it will be successful. Also, it takes a lot of time to really the deep learning engine to process and give us the results. So it's time consuming. Also, a lot of people are not so comfortable with the fact that they're getting it output. They don't know how exactly it is being done. It's like a black box, and that makes it somewhat uncomfortable for people as well. So these are some comparisons of what machine learning and deep learning happens. We're going to keep that at a very high level for now, and we'll keep on adding to it.